guys. Whoever's here. I'm early. Usually early. This is one of my partner sets. I'll link his YouTube channel below if you guys are into EDM's music stuff. He's got a amazing sets over there. Hi guys, say hi when you get here. I want to see who I'm talking to. Here we are. Hi guys. Good morning. I don't know why my chat wasn't up. Thanks, Deb. I'm not going to try and pronounce your whole name, but I appreciate you. Hi, guys. That was weird. Was I not showing up at first? So funny. Hi. I'm going to link this channel below if you guys didn't get that before. Hi, guys. How's everybody doing? I'm in one of the best moods that I've been in days, right, actually. Because this moon is like right in my 10th house. Just I mean, not really shining, but definitely nice to have a luminary there right now for sure. Are you sleepy today? Well, yes, Lisa, I know why you're sleepy today. We've already done your astrology for this new moon. So, and speaking of that, if you guys are, well, Steph, you too with the Cancer Sun, of course. If you guys want to have astrology, weekly tarot, the best way to support me right now is over in the memberships. We do the weekly astrology, the weekly tarot, and we do a lot of really fun stuff on Discord. Hi, Heidi. Oh, I got to put this on Do Not Disturb. We all know I'm really good at doing that, forgetting to do that. So yeah, right now that is the absolute best way to do it. And we really have tons of fun. Like we are doing lots of classic Betsy, lots of fun stuff over there. So I hope you guys are really paying attention to what's coming up for you, especially those of you that are really emotional. I'm kind of expecting that I might get a little bit more emotional later on today as the moon, because the new moon happens tonight at 9:16 Eastern time. So it's like the build up to getting to this new moon is probably going to be the most difficult part, and then allowing you to release a lot of things, because what this new moon is asking you to do, just like the Capricorn full moon did 2 weeks ago, we're really having to take responsibility for a lot of stuff. We have Mars and Venus just a couple of degrees away from being conjunct with each other in Leo. So that's really expanding our heart space in a lot of ways and forcing us to see what the facade is or what's the reality of the situation. You know what I mean? Because like the conditions and the programs that we've had that we grew up with, all of that is going to put a veil over everything that this new moon wants to show you. And the reason why is because you're seriously being asked to change something in your life, to make it a better existence for you, not to make it a better existence for anybody else, especially people that have never been there for you, or for people that have not created safety for you. What is Cancer? Cancer is about the mother, right? It's about creating that safe space, that safe zone, and allowing yourself to surrender to that process and let that vulnerability shine and let that heart chakra opening. Mars is starting to move away from that square to Uranus. So that's that kind of that anger. It's sort of like the pressure cooker. We're now getting to release all of that. So during this time, manifesting, I know a lot of people want to manifest with new moons. I don't see that there's anything necessarily wrong with that. You just have to do it responsibly. Like, Don't go manifesting a partnership that you have been like, trying to force to work for a really, really long time, and you've done absolutely everything you could. And now you think that this Cancer new moon is your final like ditch effort that you really want to like manifest this partnership. This is not that new moon. And really any new moon, you should not be manifesting that partnership back. But you've got to be responsible with the things that you're doing. You want to be able to manifest stuff that creates a safe space for you. And that starts within. So if you don't even know what that safe space is, do it for your best and highest good. Manifest for your best and highest good. And everybody else who's involved with that best and highest good. And everybody else's best and highest good in there. So a lot of anger. Good. I'm glad that you're in a good mood. I know it's so funny because like I've got this going on in my 10th house. And so I immediately was like, I need to like talk to people. I need to be like in front of the camera talking to people through all of this stuff, because that's absolutely where I belong during this new moon. Your anxiety has hit the room today. Hit the room. Been releasing a lot of fears, being asked to surrender. Yes, I get it. Well, and I'm really glad that that's like that you're paying attention to that you're allowing yourself to pay attention to that kind of thing. Well, and we have to remember that like Mercury is direct now. Mercury is about to go into Cancer as well. Just in a couple of on Sunday, Mercury's going into Cancer. So there's this like need to communicate how we're feeling. And if we don't feel safe to communicate how we're feeling to the people in our environment, then what's safe about that? You know what I mean? So there's really a lot of like kind of like aha moments that are coming up during this time, and paying attention to those aha moments will save you months and months and months of sadness. Your Cancer moon child is so emotional today. He said 3. Aw. Like, I would just wrap him in a blanket and let him play like whatever video game that keeps him calm today. There is no reason that poor boy does not need all that anxiety pent up in him. Poor guy. Hi, Corey. The new moon ritual ideas. Okay. So I had a feeling that somebody was going to ask about new moon. I should have had that prepared. What I would do for this new moon is take a spiritual bath, because Cancer is a water sign, and and obviously the moon is the ruler of Cancer, the water sign. So what we really want to do is take a spiritual bath, use an Epsom salt, use your favorite oils that help you to relax and help you to be able to just kind of surrender into yourself. Play some really amazing music, maybe like do some like romanticize, like be super romantic with yourself and really, really do that love there. If you want to manifest down on paper, you can always do the classic writing what it is that you want to manifest down and folding the paper towards you 3 times and then burning it. Make sure that you have like a bowl of water next to you so you don't burn yourself. That would suck. And I am not responsible for anything burning. So yeah, those are a couple of ideas. I myself will probably take a spiritual bath just because I have this stuff that I got at the Women's Expo here in Kansas City last summer, and I still haven't used it. And it's for like bath and moon rituals. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I'll be using tonight. So good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So I hope that helps, Safina. Hi, Rhiannon. It's good to see everybody here. It really is. And couple of things. Again, if you want to get some, see me a little bit more often and support me during this time, I am not opening up my schedule to the public for probably a little while longer. I will be starting treatment for a blood cancer that was found. I'll be starting that treatment on Monday. So I'm not really sure. I don't know what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to look like. So I can't really like predict anything. So if you want to support me in any way, the link to my GoFundMe is underneath this video. The PayPal is under here. The Cash App is under the video, or you can become a member and support every month for as low as $6.99. That link is in the description box below. You'll have access to Discord. We're doing weekly astrology and tarot readings. It's really fun, and I love the memberships. The Fearless family is amazing. They've been so good to me. So all of that stuff is in the description box. And and the new summer love soul items are up on my website. So if there's the tank tops, you can support me there as well. All of that goes directly to my medical and living expenses. So, thank you, Robin, very much. And yeah, so all of that again is down. We have like tank tops and water bottles, tote bags. The beach towels were sold out, so we don't have those up. Hopefully we'll be able to get those up before the end of the summer, but yeah. So let's see. Hi, Cal. Ooh, that first card that came out's a heavy one. So I can really feel what is being released right now. And a lot of it is because your ego is trying to make room for something of more abundance. Some of you feel like you're being betrayed by somebody, or some of you have already been betrayed by somebody, or you are arguing with somebody right now. This doesn't feel very cute. This does not feel like a lot of fun. I don't know who this is. Oh, okay. All right. So we have the 10 of Swords. This is going to be an interesting reading, you guys. We have the 10 of Swords is the first card that came out. The 10 of Swords feeling is like, it's like going to the worst possible case scenario. It's like, oh my God, everything is just going to be the worst that it could possibly be in this situation. So, that 10 of Swords is also letting you know that you've already been through the worst possible situations. So you don't actually need to continue worrying, but probably because of that trauma or thinking that, oh my gosh, this is going to turn out really bad, you automatically go, this is definitely that card where you're overthinking, where you're really, really, really overthinking that process. So then we have the 7 of Swords, and then we have the 5 of Wands. So these three for me on the top really feels like somebody feels extremely betrayed. There was an argument, maybe some lying involved. Maybe the argument came out because somebody was lying. And now it feels like it's like the worst possible kind of feeling or something like that. And now this doesn't have to be in like a romantic relationship, but it feels extremely emotional. So this is not just somebody that you had lukewarm feelings for, whether that means it was a family member or a best friend or a romantic relationship. The bottom row, we have the Queen of Cups, the 6 of Pentacles, and that good old illusion, the 10 of Cups. Now, this doesn't have to be an illusion, but in this case, I kind of have a feeling that it is, especially because that's what we're giving our energy to, is what that 10 of Cups is supposed to look like. So we've got that feminine energy, and this is perfect for the moon in Cancer because this would be that Cancerian cardinal energy in the tarot card, the Queen of Cups. So during this new moon, this feminine energy is trying to show you where you might have been giving way too much energy to a fantasy or way too much energy to a future that is not reality. Like it just, because a lot of times we really want things to look a particular way in our life or look exactly the way that we want them to look. And the more we try and force it to look that way, the more unhappy we actually are. So we think that we want things to look a particular way, and our soul knows that we need things to look a particular way. And so when that soul need comes up and your ego comes in and goes, no, that's not what I was talking about. No, I wanted something else. This is crap. That's what this is. You're giving a whole lot of energy to the way you want things to look. And that's what's creating this tension. That's what's creating this buildup. That's what's creating this need to be in control. And the more you need to be in control, the more your own existence is going to be like, no, that's not the way we're going to go. So some of you are actually, the Seven of Swords could actually be your own betrayal of self. Because we do that sometimes. We be doing that sometimes. So let's clarify. Man, whenever I read cards, I forget how much I love reading cards until I do it. Oh, I don't like to argue. It's pointless. Too much energy. I hear you. That's, yeah, I'm same. I will if I have to, but I don't like doing it. Okay. All right. And this is, and I knew that this was going to happen because now we have the actual results of what's going to happen. We started off with what the root cause, the root of what was going on. Those were the first 6 cards, the root of what's going on. And now we actually get to see the end game, if you will. Now we actually get to see how everything's going to turn out if we decide to follow our soul path and stop listening to what the ego thinks that it can do things. And this is pretty amazing. So here we go. 9 of Cups. Come on, you guys. If you want to manifest a terrible ending to a situation, you absolutely can. You can do that by doing a whole bunch of stuff. But this 9 of Cups is saying you're really on a path to being able to manifest whatever it is that you want. And you're going to have to pull yourself out of the swords phase, though. Because the more you tell yourself that it's not going to happen or you can't do it or there's all these reasons why things can't happen the way that you want them to go or the way in a way that you would like for them to go, if you keep telling yourself that, it's absolutely will manifest where you're not going to get everything that you want. But you have an option, right? And the universe is looking at you and saying, you have, instead of you lying to yourself and thinking that all of this is going to come crashing down, in like a big no. So then we have the Magician and the Ace of Pentacles that clarified the 7 of Swords. So either you have somebody manipulating you out of money. That could be one of these things. That could be easily be somebody that was manipulating you. You thought you were getting into something. Now you feel like you're being manipulated in a big way. But the universe is holding out this pentacle and saying, I've got you though, because you have all of the tools, even if this magician is being manipulative, right? Even if that's what this means, it also means that you have all the tools to get anything that you want or anything that you desire. All you have to do is believe in it. All you have to do is believe in yourself. All you have to do is believe in that and that creation. And then we have the Ace of Wands on the 5 of Wands. So there's going to be some kind of opportunity that's going to come out of an argument or a fight. And it's almost like this aha moment. And it feels like either somebody is focusing more on themselves and less on another person or other people or whatever. That's how the aha moment is happening. Or literally there's going to be a fight about something. You have a realization and you start moving in a different direction. Like there's something that is, and this feels very much like that Uranus kind of, thing that we still have, that Mars and Uranus square, that Venus, Mars and Uranus square that's still kind of happening. But there are shocking things that are going on right and left in everybody's worlds. And some of them feel really negative. Some of them feel really, really bad things to go through for a person to go through. But even in those things that are really bad, where people have to go through like the worst parts of life, there are still blessings there. There are still things that we can learn about the situation and the experiences, and allowing yourself to look at it that way instead of being like, oh, there's nothing this can't be rectified at all, right? We want to take away that 10 of Swords experience. So it can't be, it can be solved. So let's see what the bottom row shows us. So the Queen of Cups. Funny. It feels like somebody is racing against the clock, or somebody is racing against time right now. And there's really no race. Oh, yeah. Okay. There's really no race. You don't have to rush anything. Nothing at all. So we have the King of Wands on the Queen of Cups. So now the masculine energy has shown up. So we had the feminine energy, and we have now the masculine energy. And it feels very much, because the masculine energy came out as fire and the feminine energy is water, it feels very much like it doesn't feel like an equal balance to me between the two. Because to me, when two people are on the same page, they come out as the same energies, regardless of what their signs are. Because I'm not really big on, I mean, I do for people, but I'm not really big on reading the signs. It's more of an energy thing for me. So then we have the Knight of Swords, King of Swords, Two of Wands. Wow. Okay. So it feels like somebody is either racing against time, racing against, because the King of Swords for me is like authority or legal stuff or the government. It can be three different people in this situation, but this feels like somebody needs to make a decision, and they need to make a decision really fast. And I feel like a lot of energy is being put into needing to make that decision. And it really feels like this King of Swords energy is kind of like a figure looming over somebody, like, you need to make this decision right now, kind of thing. And it feels very tense. It feels very frustrating. And this is what I feel like is the blockage to everything. I feel like this is blocking that abundance. This is blocking that knowing that everything is going to work out fine, because you have everything right there to be able to do it anyways. You're just telling yourself that you don't. This isn't about anybody else doing anything to you. If somebody shows that they've done something to you, or somebody like shows their true colors to you, it is your responsibility to look at that experience and look at that situation and tell yourself you're either going to stay in it or you're not going to stay in it. And sometimes that is hard to really, really do for people. And I mean, there's a lot of experiences that come with that when it comes to abuse, or when it comes to gaslighting, when it comes to narcissism. But there's never an opportunity where you can't say, I no longer need to be in this situation. You never are stuck in any one situation ever, ever, ever. So there's never a race to make a decision. What we have to do when we feel like we're kind of backed up against the wall, and we feel like we need to make a decision to be able to get out of this situation, we're backed up against the wall, is always come back to self. Always ask yourself what will be best for you. If something comes up and it feels really, really tense for you, that's not best for you. If something comes up, you breathe through it, you get a good cry out, you feel better about the situation, then yes, maybe that's possible. But for me, anything that is not a 100% yes is an automatic no. From here on out in my life, I will never do anything in a lukewarm kind of way. That's never going to happen. And so allowing yourself to be like, I have this deadline of when I need to be able to make that decision, or what I need to be able to move forward, that's keeping you stuck up against that corner, up against that wall. And it's not allowing you to see anything except for that position. Everything else is like this, right? So you always have to allow yourself to get super, super in touch with that gut feeling. And yes, there's a lot of stuff about traumas in the past that can make us kind of question the directions that we need to go in. But if you don't feel safe with being able to release those traumas in the area, in like the space that you're in, with the people that you're around, in your environment at all, that's not healing. You're not able to be able to heal, and you won't be able to see the clarity or be able to see things for what they actually are. Because the whole point is to be happy in life, right? Why do we allow ourselves to stay in negative experiences and have all of these excuses to do it. Staying in a bad job, staying in a bad relationship, staying in a bad living place. Like if your house is, if things are falling apart around you and everything that you do to try to keep it together in your space and it just doesn't work, then that means that you're not supposed to be there anymore. But why do we not allow ourselves to have the expiration dates? Because we think that if we lose something, then it's actually a loss. And when in reality is sometimes the things that you lose in your life, those were the things that were stopping you from being able to move forward into another direction. So the Empress with the 10 of Cups, this is about really, really standing very firm in your own values, being very creative within your own self, and knowing who the fuck you are. That's what's going to bring that 10 of Cups to a reality instead of an illusion. You see, is when you start saying yes to yourself and you start saying no to the people that are just not, have proven themselves time and time and time again that they're not there for you, that they're not for you. The more often you choose yourself, the more you're going to be able to see the clarity on that path, the more you're going to be able to do the things that you need to do. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Oh, bam. Judgment card. You can't stop it from happening. For real. For real. I'm going to look at the chat now. Yeah, it is a general reading. And it's recorded stuff, so you'll be able to see it again. I have a feeling you're going to want to. Oh, thanks, Les. It's funny because I had a new nail person do them, and yeah, because they're my real nails, so I don't want to like go to somebody that's not, that I don't really like, but he did a really good job. So, well, TS, like I said, it doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. If you have no relationships with anybody, I can understand how you would say that doesn't resonate. And that's fine. If it doesn't resonate, it doesn't resonate. That's great. But this isn't about just a romantic relationship. And really, it's about the relationship with yourself more than anything, if we want to get like deep into that. But yeah, I just think it's funny that people have to announce. That's fine. Or you can just go. Nope, we're not doing Mgoli. We're not doing, or Mgol. I can't read that. We're not doing personal readings. Can't stop it from happening. It really, you can't. And that's the thing, is like, your destiny is your destiny. Like, I don't understand why people don't get that. And honestly, believing, when I was because I used to be really cynical. I mean, I grew up in the 90s. Of course, I was super cynical, man. Everything I was cynical about. Didn't believe in faith. And I tried to. I even went to church, all of that stuff. And I still was extremely cynical about everything, about love, about existence, everything. And I think the biggest thing for me is having faith in yourself, because it's not even about whether it's once you start to see how everything begins to line up when you focus on yourself and you stop focusing on everybody else's lives, or how am I going to get into a relationship, or how do I change this job, or how do I do this, or how do I do that, and like all of the whens, wheres, whys, and hows. Just focus on your life. Focus on what makes you feel happy. Focus on what makes you feel good. And that's the biggest thing, is like, well, that's fine. Gen X is, yes, you're absolutely right. Being cynical in Gen X, it was our birthright. But the generation, the like next generation after Gen X, they are just as cynical. And it's frightening. It's extremely frightening to watch this next generation be cynical, because they are amazing individuals. So allowing like the whole focusing on yourself. And people will say that you're selfish, because the moment that you stop giving your energy away to everybody else and you start giving it back to yourself, you're automatically going to see who is for you and who is against you. Hands down. If you ever have a question about something that's going on in your life with somebody else, asking them about it will give you every answer you need. Why are we not opening up our mouths? Why are we pretending that things are just okay, kind of thing, right? So instead of playing small, instead of sleeping on yourself, allowing yourself to open up and expand, open up your mouth. It is all in the fear, but is the fear actually real, or are you creating it? Like, is there an actual real fear? Because if you show up for yourself every single day, then you're always going to be fine. If you're showing up for yourself every single day and there are other people that are in your existence who don't like the fact that you're showing up for yourself every single day and you're not giving them the energy anymore, that's a really big sign. But if you're waking up every single day and you're giving everybody else your energy and you're not giving back to yourself, you're never going to know. You're never going to know. And I understand that. I totally understand that fear. And I think the biggest thing for me when I think about, because I still get afraid about stuff, but I always have to ask myself, I'm like, is this fear of something that I'm experiencing right now, is it real? Is it from a trauma? Is it like, should I actually be afraid of this person? Or should I actually, or is this like based on a trauma that, I mean, I ask myself that probably 6 or 7 times a day. Is this trauma? Because my ego rears up. Oh, yeah. The fear of not being in control. Yeah, I really had to give that up in a big way this year. Like, I'm not in control of anything in my life anymore. Not one thing at all. And that is probably, it was the biggest release. Because I still get those fears that come up, but there's nothing I can do. When the fears come up, I'm like, but even if this fear is here, there's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do about what's actually going on. So what do I roll with it, and I allow myself to see it for what it is. And I say, okay, well, if this is what, because I know that I'm always going to be taken care of. I know that my bills will always be taken care of. And if my bills aren't being taken care of in one particular place, I'm not supposed to be there anymore. Right? I know that my needs and my desires and everything that I need to nurture myself will always be taken care of because I'm here doing it for me. And yes, there are other people in my life that nurture me and do things for me and give me what I need as well, but I didn't always have that. So when I started giving myself what I needed instead of always giving everybody else what they needed, that's when other people started doing it for me. And it wasn't like I stopped looking for the attention. I stopped looking for the need to control the situation. I stopped creating certain expectations of how that person should respond to me or how that person should this or that or whatever, or what they should think or how they should act or any of that. And for Virgos, it's really hard sometimes when you want people to act a certain way or be a certain way, because we hold ourselves at such a standard that if those people aren't doing, like, I'm going to do this for you, why can't you do it back for me? And that's playing the martyr. Like, we can't do that kind of thing. But I think more than anything is anytime we're afraid that we're going to lose something, anytime we're afraid that something is going to happen, when you nurture that own fear and like say, well, I know that, like, for example, I will never be poor. I will never be poor in my life because I know that I exist and I exist for a reason. And for abundance for me looks different than abundance does for any of you. But I know because of who I am and what I'm capable of doing, I will always have abundance in my life. And I put that on nobody else but me. Do you see? Even if I am abundant from other people, even if other people make me abundant in different ways, that's great and that's wonderful. And I receive. And I really had to open myself up to do that as well. But creating expectations of that to happen and not doing it for yourself will bring disappointment every single time. Sometimes I feel putting energy into myself, like diet and exercise feels like high maintenance. Well, that's the thing, Yvette, is I stopped dieting and I stopped exercising. What I started doing was eating foods that were good for my body and to stop eating foods that made me feel like shit. And I started doing stuff, moving my body and doing stuff that made me feel good. And for me, that's walking and yoga. Both of those things lift my spirits. I don't do workouts that make me feel like shit. I don't do workouts that make me feel like I'm dead by the end of the day. Like that kind of stuff. Every single thing that you do for yourself is about the energy that you're putting into it. And if you're trying to create things for yourself that are miserable, like I will never diet again because this girl likes to eat. And if that means that I'm going to have a fat ass for the rest of my life, then that's perfectly fine. But that doesn't mean that I eat junk food all day long. Do I let myself indulge every once in a while? Absolutely. But especially because of my health stuff now. Like I can't just go eat a hamburger and french fries and a big chocolate shake every single day. Or, I mean, I grew up in Kansas City, like fried chicken and barbecue. That was my jam. That's what I ate. I loved it. But I can't do that to my body anymore, especially because of the way that the health stuff is. Like I have to do a plant-based diet. I have to, because it helps keep my veins and my vessels open and they can't get, clotted, because I have a blood clot disorder now that I have to look at. So there are things that you can do for yourself that can bring you more joy into your life, or you can keep doing the old things that make you fucking miserable. And you're constantly like, this sucks. You know what I mean? And eating healthy also doesn't mean beating, like, how do I want to put this? Like eating, like I'm a pescatarian, so I eat fish as well, as long as it's the fish are plant-based and they're not like bottom, like I don't do catfish because that's like bottom feeder stuff. But because that I enjoy fish, right? And I need to still have some kind of protein that I'm putting in my body that's not just plant-based protein. I need to have a higher source of protein in my body. So I do things in an intuitive, healthy way. And I know I'm like overextending myself on this with Yvette, but just that kind of like stop pushing yourself to do things that don't feel good. Because when your body feels good, it's going to lose the weight naturally. When your body feels good and you have the energy and you're doing things to bring yourself joy, there's going to be like this natural weight. And some of us are supposed to be thicker in our lives and we're not supposed to be size 4. So just remember that. Like you know what? If I can be a solid size 10 for the rest of my life, I'll be happy. I don't even care. But yeah. I like to eat too. Now that I've changed my mindset to do things to feel good about, I've started a whole food plate. Good. That's awesome. I'll eat that burger in front. Yeah, that's because you don't care. You don't care about your arteries and veins. I feel like to bring my issues with what you're facing in such grace, that this is minuscule. Aw, thanks, Rhiannon. That's really nice. I mean, I honestly don't think that anybody's troubles in life are worse than anybody else's troubles in life. I think that we all experience things in different ways. And for me to say that I've been through worse in my life, it would be a huge disservice to any of you. I think that it's all in how you go about living your life through the tough moments. You can either crawl into a hole and get into the fetal position and just let the rest of your life go by, or you can take the punches for what they are and have a whole lot of fun doing it. You know? Cal, that is the worst kind of skinny. Oh my God. He has, like, Cal and I have been friends for, I think almost 4 years now, like 3 years or something. And I swear he hasn't learned a damn thing from me. Like, I don't even know what that is all about. Thank you, Rhiannon. I really appreciate that. Good. I'm glad that you're intuitively eating. I need to do a video on that, but I know that I just need it'll come in the right time. But yes, intuitive eating and intuitive working out, and intuitively loving your body no matter what size it is. Because honestly, you guys, I think that's going to be my next podcast. So if you haven't heard or seen the podcast yet, you can swing on over to the Love Soul Movement podcast on YouTube. You can also get it on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, Google, anywhere you can find your podcasts. So I'm going to wrap this up because I have a few other things I need to do today and I got to have energy for it. Just walking makes me feel so, yes. I call walking in the morning, that's my God time. Like I'm communing with God in the morning when I go for my walk. And man, this morning I did a 36-minute 2 miles and I was so proud of myself, which means that's like an 18-minute mile, which considering I was walking with a cane just 2 months ago, that's pretty amazing for me. So not running yet, but definitely getting back to doing all of that. So I'm going to wrap this up. I love you guys so much. I know, Shannon, it's the best way to do it. But that's just do things that make you feel good. If you like lifting weights, then lift weights. If you like walking, then nobody says that you have to be a speed walker. Nobody says that you have to, do all of that stuff. Yes, Simone. And I do smoothies, man. I do a lot of smoothies too, because I am a smoothie queen these days. All right. I love you all. And I will see you for the next Love Soul podcast. If you go subscribe to the Love Soul Movement and make sure you check out the Wildlife Paradise YouTube channel as well. My partner's got some pretty amazing EDM mixes up. So love you guys. Bye.